welcome to a new video. My name is Jade Shinyu and I help people reclaim back their power physically, mentally and spiritually. Now today is going to be a fun video about a really good hack of how to manifest things, because I know people struggle time and time again of like how to really manifest things into their existence, and it's one of those things that's kind of like simple yet really hard to do. So it takes practice. However, there is a hack that I have used myself time and time again, and it definitely works if you do it right. And it's not too difficult. It's just one of those things that some people may be good at, some people may struggle a bit. So the technique is basically visualization, but at a certain time. Basically, you must do it right before you're going to sleep. I find the most powerful way to hack into your subconscious brain, which is what you need to do to manifest things, is to do it when you're in that half awake, half asleep state. Because that is the same brain state that you are on when you're being hypnotized. So it's just before you're going to sleep and just before you're waking up. But I find doing it as you're drifting off into sleep is more effective. So normally I'll recommend meditating as soon as you wake up to put yourself in alignment. I always say to my clients to do like a chakra meditation to like really just align and activate yourself so you're like balanced throughout the day, fully through your whole chakras. So I do recommend doing that as well, and that will help you manifest, because if you're in alignment, it's always going to be better to manifest things. So, but with the visualization before bed, it's so effective when done right, and it can be one of those things that takes practice, but it must be done in first person as another thing. So when you're doing this technique, you must visualize it as if you are seeing it through your own eyes. So don't really do it through third person as much. I mean, you can sort of do it a little bit with your brain, but try to really visualize what it would look like through your own eyes, because that's what you experience your whole reality as. You never see yourself in third person unless it's through a camera or, you know, a mirror, you know, not much. But when you're living, experiencing, obviously your life, it's always through your own eyes. So have fun with it. So one of the most important things that I find works better is you have to make it fun, as if it's like a movie. So when you're going to sleep, you have to look forward to it so it doesn't feel like a chore. So a good trick to make you really believe is to start with something really simple. Start with something small and believable. So if you kind of just go into the deep end of like, oh, trying to win the lottery, you know, something your subconscious brain like doesn't believe can happen because it's got such a negative belief surrounding that thing. Start small, because as soon as you manifest something simple, even if it's really small, like a certain feather, a certain colored van that will drive past your house, or, you know, something that you'll see during your day, a person wearing like, you know, a particular colored coat or umbrella, like just something simple that you see day to day that is like, you know, believable to your subconscious brain. But make it very specific, obviously, so you can like see it and identify it and be like, oh shit, it fucking worked. So that's the first step, is really use your focus and intent to visualize something that is easy to see. So if you want to manifest seeing like a blue van, look at a picture of a blue van. So also look at imagery of what you want to help your brain actually like be able to visualize, because that's probably one of the trickiest parts, is most people can't, they find it a struggle to imagine what something looks like in detail. So looking at imagery will really help with that. Your subconscious brain doesn't really understand much language, it goes off imagery. Like I've noticed time and time again, if I see something, even if it's like I don't really take notice of it, or I'll just think of something and then I visualize it in my brain literally for a split second, it's like I'll see it the next day. So it happens a lot, even like when, I mean, I don't try to visualize and manifest things all the time either at this present moment, but it's just you kind of get to that state where you just will manifest things really quickly, good and bad. So this is why you have to be very cautious of what you think, because as your frequency gets higher, so that's another thing, is obviously working on having a high enough frequency when you're trying to manifest. Like I always say in my other videos, you must have a high vibration when trying to manifest good things into your life, so it doesn't cause havoc or chaos or anything like that. So shifting to a high frequency, a high vibration, will make it much easier to get things that you want into your life as well. And of course, life isn't always going to be, you know, simple like that. Like, another thing to bear in mind is, you know, with manifestation, try to manifest from your higher self. Try not to manifest from your ego. So this is why I always say in my other videos, you know, you've got to do a lot of heart healing. You've got to do a lot of shadow work. So you're mature enough, you have that emotional maturity to actually know what you want. Otherwise, you may focus on, like, for example, manifesting something that's actually quite toxic, and then later on regretting it. So this is why, you know, do the inner work first. You can play around with your mind, you can play around with manifesting small things to give you that confidence, to give you that boost and that kind of, like, you know, excitement of, like, wow, you know, it makes you realize your power. So it makes you realize, like, how powerful your mind actually is when you manifest just anything, even when it's small. So, but for bigger things, you know, just do it gradually, and then don't expect it to happen overnight. You know, it will take time. It all depends what it is. But have that focus, have that intent. But another thing that I recommend is not getting too obsessive with it, because as soon as you put something on like a pedestal, as soon as you obsess about something, it gets into like desperation energy. So it's kind of like you have to have that neutral energy. You have to be like balanced. And this is why it can be tough to manifest certain things, because you have to have no resistance. It has to be very, very balanced, especially for big things. So this is why it depends on like people's brains, how many negative belief systems that they have locked in or not. So this is why some people will be able to manifest things, you know, money, etc. quickly, if they have no negative beliefs to do with money, especially from childhood. But if you have a lot of negative beliefs around money, especially, you know, growing up in like a poor home and always being told that, you know, money doesn't grow on trees and all that shit, it will be hard to manifest true abundance, because you have that fear, you have that lack mindset, that negative subconscious belief that it's difficult to get. So this is really just kind of helping rewire your brain. It's a way of actually hypnotizing yourself before you sleep. So, and sometimes it can actually lead into dreams, into lucid dreams, and that's another really cool way to manifest as well. Another thing that will help people be able to visualize more and have not so many intrusive thoughts, because that's obviously another thing that people struggle with, is if they're trying to focus and imagine something positive, they'll just get an intrusive thought or like something really horrible. Trust me, I know, I've been there. But a thing again to help counteract that is to practice meditation. And I know many people find it a chore and boring, but basically meditation is like exercise for your brain. It really, really helps with controlling your thoughts, like being able to push out intrusive thoughts, negative thoughts. You know, it's really just exercising your brain. It's having more brain power. Like you work out to exercise your muscles in the gym. Meditation is like your mind's gym, okay? As well as your soul, like amplifying the frequency of your spirit as well. Because there's so many amazing things you can do when you really learn how to tap into your consciousness and altered states of consciousness. And manifestation is one of them. So, you know, there's so many levels to it, and people's minds are extremely, like, have so much potential to create amazing things. So meditation is highly, highly recommended. But like I said, I recommend doing that as soon as you wake up. And it doesn't have to be for long. I recommend, you know, a chakra meditation or any sort of meditation that just makes you feel good, that you can actually stick to, that's not, you know, going to be too tedious, too much of a chore. And then doing the visualization at night. So try to be in a relaxed state, you know, try to avoid overstimulating your brain as well, especially before bed. Because if you've just been scrolling or some shit for like an hour, 2 hours right before bed, then your brain is going to be frazzled. You're going to have so much imagery, music, you know, just bullshit that you've seen, you know, scrolling and scrolling. It's going to be really difficult to actually focus, to really visualize what you want. Your brain will just be fried. So that's another thing, is be careful how much time you spend on those sort of apps. Any sort of like scrolling video apps, like Instagram, now even YouTube Shorts, try not to do them too much. You know, really limit yourself, because it just makes you, it massively overstimulates your brain, which puts you in a stress mindset as well. It puts your body in a state of stress. Also, it's just there's too much imagery. So everything you're looking at will get logged into your subconscious brain. So this is why you've got to be careful what you are consuming. So if you're consuming loads of toxic reels, whatever it is, you'll manifest more of that in your own life, because you've consumed that energy. It's basically brainwashing you because if you're just constantly scrolling and seeing all this content, you're being brainwashed by whatever you are watching. So you've got to be really, really careful and aware of what you're consuming and what energy you're putting in your own subconscious brain. You know, really be careful with what content you choose. Because it's kind of like, you know, you're filling your brain with that. You're filling your brain with that. And this is what is the key to manifesting something. It's just filling your brain with that theme. It's like you have to theme your whole life. You have to consume loads of content or loads of imagery even. And if you don't want to look at your phone, which is obviously better for your brain, you know, just look at pictures. So if you don't want to watch videos, if you don't do that already, which is great, you can look at pictures, you know, make a vision board right before bed. And then when you drift off as you're about to go sleep, it will be much easier for you to visualize things. It will be much easier for you to make up a little story in your mind of, you know, what you want to do, and try to make it as detailed as possible. And it doesn't matter if you don't see anything, you know, just think about it. Just think about it. Just think, you know, what would happen, you know, imagine conversations, whatever it is, you know, with your loved ones, just as detailed and realistic as possible as well. Try to make it very believable and realistic is another key thing, you know, when you want to do and try and manifest more advanced things. I can say from my own experience, it definitely works. It just takes a bit of practice, and it just takes working and realigning your brain in order to actually do it efficiently as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want one-to-one guidance with myself personally with things like manifestation or problems you have or whatever it is, I offer oracle card reading. I will link that down below in the description box as always. And another reminder, my Goddess Coven Patreon is now open, so I will link that down below as well. Until next time, my loves, I'm sending you so much love, so much light. Ahimsa.